According to, and all right, so earlier we had our Highlander mascot on, so now we're back here on programming. We're basically picking up a part two from yesterday that I never did get around to actually get to talking with you. And so anyway, that I'm back here with you. It's Wednesday, April the 10th. So anyway, sunshine this morning. We're going to get up to about 75 degrees, light variable winds, back down the upper to mid 40s, clear skies again tonight. We do see rain move back in the picture for tomorrow night, actually. Unfortunately, the weekend may be a little bit of a washout. There may be some scattered showers. I know this is prom season for a lot of schools going into effect right now. Just kind of be careful and play it by ear. That's all I have to say to you, because with it being this time of year where a lot of things start to go up and down, well, you know, that's how things roll. So anyway, welcome to springtime, right? All right, we want to go back to Monday night, and because yesterday I didn't do my part two, so here it is. We want to wish the Virginia Cavaliers a big congratulations on their first ever win in ever history recorded, first team to win national championship with number one scoring defense since 1959, and head coach Tony Bennett has been in the news here for some positive things. As you know, about 2 years ago, Charlottesville had that big riot that broke out, and they've been known for a lot of negativity. This time around, it's for a positive side. And something with that being said, we want to give them a big congratulations. 85-77, they beat Texas Tech, both of their first times, to the national championship in the NCAA tournament. And so, thankfully, that's over with now. I know a lot of people, they have been trying to, concentrate on their school stuff and a lot of other things going on, like myself. And I'm kind of glad it's over with. I had fun for like 3 weeks keeping up with all those 68 teams, 64 of them, and however it works from that point forward. So anyway, moving on to next year, we'll see how things go. Hopefully I'll have somewhat of a perfect bracket, even though I had Duke going all the way, but I'm kind of glad that UVA did win. Good job, Virginia, representing your state. Very proud. Of course, it was the first national championship overtime game. It went into overtime since 2008. Kansas, Memphis took on the 8th, and of course it was the 8th overall tournament in history. So just a big congratulations, and I'm proud to be a Virginian here in Virginia. So big congratulations to them. Now, a lot of things have been, the weather's been kind of warming up, but we sometimes, like this morning, we woke up in the 40s. It's a little bit of chill out there. But a lot of people think about, we're done with all of our last freezes, right? So typically, no, not really. We go into about the 30th of April. Normally is our last typical freeze here in the New River Valley. Roanoke, West, Franklin County, parts of Stewart, Henry County, Martinsville, Danville, Halifax County, the Lynchburg area, kind of near Nelson County, Charlottesville area. Typically, go into the 15th of April is your last freeze. Temperatures at night are not going to be getting in the 30s for a good while. So don't be surprised in the next 2 weeks or so, you may wake up to the 30s and like, Brian, when did you say it was going to get cold again? Well, typically it's when we have our last freeze of the season, so that's something you got to keep in mind. It's not always perfect around springtime. So, pollen has been high, the flowers are blooming, the birds are out there building nests, and of course you've been probably running into a few bees from time to time, maybe some wasps, and then before too long, those wonderful mosquitoes, don't we love so much in the South as well, and they're pretty much anywhere, but they're pretty much dominating in the southern United States, eastern United States now, and Midwest too. And speaking of Midwest, they're actually seeing a blizzard coming their way this week. And blizzard warnings, winter storm warnings, and watches have been posted for most of parts of Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota, winter storm warnings into Minneapolis, where the championship was just held. So thankfully, they're back home. They're going to be seeing between 12 and 18 plus inches of snow. So a foot to a foot and a half is expected. And boy, it's we thought spring was here in the Midwest. Unfortunately, Mother Nature has other plans and says, nope, I'm going to bring you a nice spring blizzard. And we're going to be seeing some nice spring thunderstorms here for the weekend. So that's the same storm system that's bringing that snow out to the Midwest, to our area here. And so that's, out towards there. That's not Not typically, it doesn't really surprise me, but at the same time, it kind of does. I know, we're thinking, well, winter is over, spring is here. Well, yeah, but I mean, sometimes we kind of have those surprise snow events, and we had the latest snow I think I can remember was probably sometime it was about 2013, about this time last year, or excuse me, 2013, about this time, not last year. We were already seeing thunderstorms, actually. We did see some snow, but that thankfully didn't really accumulate to a lot, so that's the plus side of this. Continuing on with our weather news, actually it's more of a NASA science news. There was been the first ever photo of a black hole has been reported. Scientists captured an image of the supermassive black hole at the center galaxy known as M87. So last 2017, global science telescopes were sent out to space to try to pick up a black hole. This morning, we're finding out for the very first time, so it took them roughly 2 years to find out what the black hole looks like. You can go over to CNN. In a lot of these national news outlets, this is where I pull the information from. So, the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration called EHT is a global network of telescopes that has captured the first ever photograph of a black hole. More than 200 researchers were involved in the project, and they have worked more than a decade to capture this. This project, named for the Event Horizon, to prosper a boundary around a black hole that represents the point of no return, or where no light or radiation has escaped. In their attempt to capture the image of the black hole, scientists combined the power of 8 radio telescopes around the world using very long baseline infirmity. There we go. According to the European Southern Observation, which is part of the EHT, this effectively created a virtual telescope around the same size as Earth itself. And they used all these other different telescopes too to help along with it. They collected 5,000 trillion bytes of data. Yeah, 5,000 trillion. That's about, 12, 16 zeros, I think, maybe. Put that behind a 1. And so anyway, which processed through the space computers, supercomputers, so scientists could retrieve the image. And so the black hole is basically made up of huge amounts of matter squeezed into a small area, according to NASA, creating a massive gravitational field which draws in everything around it, including light. They also have a way of superheating the material around them and warping them space-time continuum. And so here we go. We have made it 2 years later. NASA scientists have made a way to get the first captured ever black hole in history to be reported. And so there you go. Check that out. CNN, MSNBC. It is trending all over Twitter and Facebook this morning. That is the only thing right now this morning that's trending on today. And so it looks like it's, it's orange around it, and center it's black. That's why it's called a black hole. And of course, like I said, it just goes on and on and on. There's no stopping point to it. So we were always thinking we would get there at some point, and we did. And congratulations to NASA. That is amazing. They were able to get that far into the space-time continuum. So continuing on our weather talk show. This is the way the show is supposed to be incorporated originally. Weather, but that's okay. We have days where we incorporate other stuff too. Hurricane season will be approaching us just about 2 months from now or so. We just wrapped up, as you remember, was a historic, devastating, damaging hurricane season last year. This year the names are released, 2 of which, Michael and Florence and Michael, will be no longer used because of the devastation they caused back in September and October along the coast of the Carolinas and as well as in Florida. First, here are some of the names I'm going to read off to you. Andrea, Barry, Chantel, Dorian, Aaron, Fernando, Fernand, Gabriel, and the Francine will be taking over for Florence, and Melissa will be doing the M name this year, so watch out if your name's on that list. Wendy, Tanya Van. So here you go to you. That's the hurricane list of this coming season beginning June 1st, running through November 30th, I believe it is. Let's see what else. Today is National Sibling Day, so happy National Sibling Day to everybody out there, including my sister back home. National Farm Animals Day, National Encourage a Young Writer Day. It's also Cinnamon Croissant Day, so we're more food day. National Book Mobile Day. So get you a book and go mobile, and sit down in front of a couch outside of the house, I should say. Go in front of a park bench or something like that and get you and read absorb some knowledge. And so yesterday was National Unicorn Day. So those fairy tale believers out there, that is actually a mascot, and I forget what country it is. I forget the name of it, but it is somewhere between that area of England. I think it's either Scotland or Greenland. No, I don't know. Anyway, somewhere in that area, that is actually the true mascot, believe it or not. So there you go. It's also National Winston Churchill's Day, which Winston Churchill was a failure. It was a it was a national figure during the 1960s and during World War II. So today's his birthday, and this is the quote for the day. We're going to put the quote from here is by Winston Churchill, saying, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts." So that is by Winston Churchill, and we, historical figure, and from that. So we'll pull yesterday's quote for today. That was his birthday. It's also National Hug Your Dog Day, and tomorrow is National Pet Day. So we have Animals Week here, it seems like, and a lot of fun things for sure. So there's your quote, and the quote of the day from Winston Churchill from yesterday. We'll be celebrating. Yesterday was his birthday, it looked like. Let's see what today's word of the day is. Is Parthenon. Parthon is the word of the day. Parthian. There we go. Of relating to or characteristics of an ancient Partha or its people. It's relating to being or having the effect of a shot fired while in a real or fine retreat. So there you go. Let's see what else. I don't think much is going on anymore. I mean, we've got exams coming up, finals very soon. So that's coming very upcoming, and you can check out some of the workshops at the gym down there. So this Friday, TXR workshop will be taking place from 10 to 12 on the top of the track. So if you want to get out there and get those muscles moving, I will take advantage of the TXR and do it too. And you can get your pump up, blood flowing for sure from 10 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon. They'll be covering some helpful tips and tricks to use on the TRX, and hope to see you there from the Radford Fitwell. We want to remind you, we will be going live on location Friday, April 12th from 6 to 8 at Cold Stone Creamery on Tyler Avenue. We will be having live music. We will not be live. We'll probably not be going live as in talking to us, but that's okay because I'll still be with you Friday morning here on Radio Free Radford. And so come by and just listen to a lot of amazing shows, and you may run some of our guests out there. I'll be out there for Radford on camera promoting, doing some of their Facebook feeding and YouTube live streaming, so you can check those out on Radford on camera on Facebook and YouTube. Like them while you're there. Follow on the Twitter and on Instagram. You can check all that fun stuff out. Like us on Radio Free Radford on Facebook and on Instagram. Follow us there in Radio Free Ratty. I know another thing you can also check out is Twitter and Instagram at RUWeather1. The letter R, the letter U, both capital. Weather, all lowercase, uppercase maybe if you want to do it. WEATHER and the number 1 on Twitter and Instagram. You can check all those fine social platforms out at your own leisure time. Alrighty, coming up later here on the show today, I'm moving the mic this time because typically when I do this, you can't even hear me half the time because the mic is a little bit farther away here. So later on today, we will have Andrew Shorts. Check his show out from 2 to 2:30. Suzanne Darr from 3 to 3:30. After that, we will then have Larry Becker and Rich Bland from 4 to 4:30. We'll get a break at the half hour, and then join Garrett Ludwig between 5 and 5:30 here on RadioFreeRadford.com. A lot of great content is being produced here and being audioized, if that's a word. I don't know. But anyway, we'll call it a word today. That's your double. You got double 2 words today. You got that one and the Parthian or whatever it is from Webster's Dictionary. Alrighty, it is 10:30 here on Radio Free Radford right now, and we're going to get you back to programming. The Chainsmokers, featuring 5 Seconds of Summer of Who Do You Love This is the Pop ROXXX intro edit. Boy, these song titles has really got to get to you. And so anyway, also want to remind you one more thing. It is National Awareness for VDOT. They're going to be out there if you've been seeing the orange signs. So VDOT Transportation Work Week, and so be cautious and be careful running around those orange cones and those signs. They want you to wear orange to go out there and support them as they're working on some of the roadways. Interstate 81, Interstate 77, 64, 85, 95, Highway 220, 58, 57, right off of Route 11 here in Floyd, Radford. And so there you go. Got all those, some of the big interstate and highway names here. And 220 north and south obviously runs from Roanoke down to parts of North Carolina, and gets you onto Highway 29, and then 95 and 40 and 41, 42, I don't know, Interstate 240 into 40. That goes through Memphis, Tennessee, and parts of Kentucky and North Carolina. You can be careful on these interstates out there. They're tricky because it is dangerous out there. Take your time on the roadways too. Alrighty, enough of my time here. Have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll get you back to programming. And until then, you're listening to Great Hits here on RadioFreeRadford.com.